What up, what up, what up? This is Mike Philosopher here with another one. This one is about Shannon Sharpe. All right. Thought I'd put my 2 cents in on this here topic. Um, and without further ado, let's go in. As you well know, Shannon Sharpe has been accused of some mischievous things with a certain type of woman. All right. Now you have the community who is speaking out about this. You've had people who warned him. Okay, you've had the Cat Williams. You've had the Monique's. Okay, tell him about himself. Try to get him on the right track, but he wouldn't listen. All right, and the reason why I think this whole fiasco is going on is for a couple of reasons. First off, I want to say I think that Shannon Sharpe is a great man. Okay. I think he has done some phenomenal things within his career, whether it be on the field or off the field. He has done some phenomenal things. Okay. Um, However, I feel that Shannon has a bit of an issue. And this is why I don't necessarily think things are going to necessarily change for Shannon. Here's the reason why. Shannon does have a fetish, right? He does have a fetish for a certain type of woman. And the reason he has a fetish is, well, it's just a fetish, right? But there's another thing that's going on here. Another thing that's going on is that I think that Shannon is very mature and very responsible guy, but a part of me feels like he's emotionally immature. All right. So let me explain what I mean by that. Shannon has been very, um, I guess you could say, relatable to both the millennials and the Generation Z. Okay. Now he is a Gen X, right? I think he's 55, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason I say this is because he likes to cater to the younger crowd. So it's no surprise to me that he is with a younger woman. He caters to the younger crowd by some of the music he chooses in his podcasts. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Nipsey Hussle, right? He caters to the younger crowd by um, raising up LeBron James instead of calling out who the real GOAT is, which is Jordan. Okay, let's stop playing. So in doing certain things that the millennials and the Z's can relate to, he has captured the heart of the younger people. This is why a lot of the younger people will follow him on his podcast. A lot of the younger people will follow him on sports shows. They will follow him wherever he goes because he is a bit of a voice for the younger crowd. Now, in a conversation with Monique, Monique told him, "Look, you need to get you an old broad, okay, who is gonna rub your feet, rub on your jewels, family jewels, and fix you a sandwich." You know what I mean? He did not take heed to that advice. And I think the reason why he did not take heed to that advice is because I think Shannon has a deep, dark um, fetish for both, for three things. He likes a certain complexion, he likes a certain age, and he likes a certain bedroom disposition. Okay. Now, Why do I say this? Well, I don't know, Shannon. I don't know. This is all just my 2 cents outside looking in, right? The young lady he was caught with, apparently, she has done some pretty debaucherous things, right? There's not too many sisters that will do some of the things that she has done. I want to say maybe licking in the crack, okay? And for any man that enjoys the licking in the crack, that's I think you a little zesty. I ain't gonna hold you. Okay. I think you a little zesty if you let a chick lick you in the crack. Um, but that's what he likes. He also likes to control and choke. And these are the things that got him to where his fetish is a certain type of preference. Now, who do I listen? A lot of men who get power, they tend to go all in on the abundance, right? If they have a man of abundance and a man of means and a man of wealth, even kings back in the day, they didn't have just one wife, they had multiple wives, right? Men of power want full abundance. Okay. I don't know how many sisters are willing to do some of the things that that young lady was doing. Now, some might say, oh, well, she wasn't even all that, this, that, and the third. I can see that. I'll agree with you. I give her about a 6.5. I mean, she's a little bit above average, but not much. 6.5. You know, that's just viewable. She won't hurt your eyes, right? But do I think that he actually, you know, I'm trying to be careful with my wording here. Do I think that he actually SA'd her? No, I don't think that. I do think this is a money grab. I do think that uh, she wanted to pull this joker out of her back pocket the whole time. I think it was probably a setup. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, the attorney who is covering this $50 million lawsuit has a history for going after brothers, and especially brothers who deal with Becky, right? Um, so this smell like a setup. Maybe one of the alphabet people in the government maybe set this up. I don't know. There's always seems to be a way to pull brothers down. Okay, now I know what some of y'all thinking. Well, nobody told him to do that. Nobody told him to say that, um, and say certain things. Nobody did that. Nobody forced him to do that. That was all on him. And I would agree with that, right? But people, especially if you're famous, people tend to know your tendencies, and they know how to send in a Trojan horse to infiltrate your whole empire. And that's what I think is possibly going on here. I think that he was easy to set up. It's funny because he has on the table right now, from what I understand, I'm not sure if it's still valid, but he has a $100 million deal to do a podcast, sort of like the Joe Rogan experience, right? He has about the same deal that Joe Rogan had. I don't think that he's signed the papers yet. I think that the whole timing of this whole situation is a little suspicious. However, he has to take some accountability, right? He has to. The things he said, the things he done, the conversations he had over the phone, which is a big no no, but you're with someone you can trust, right? You think you can trust. Now, a part of me wonders if she is a paid escort. I wonder that because it sounds like that's what their relationship was about. You slide me some money, you know, 25K each cheek or whatever they said, which is crazy. Those ain't $50,000 cheeks. I'm sorry. But he slide her some money. He go about his way. Now, if they were trying to do the relationship thing, um, it couldn't have been serious, right? Because he don't have nothing to talk about with a 20-year-old. This is all about one thing and one thing only. Well, two things and two things only: money and sex. That was it. That's all this is about. This ain't about building an empire, building a relationship, building a family together. That's not what this is about. He is into some debaucherous stuff. And the reason why he is not going to sisters is because a lot of sisters don't want to do some of the things that he likes. Now, who do I blame for this? I blame Shannon. I blame her. I blame whoever probably set this up. But another another entity that's accountable for this is corn. Y'all know what corn is, right? Just put a P there, instead. And the reason why I want to put a little blame on that industry is because all day when men don't have nothing to do, they turn that on, they see a lot of times a brother with Becky, right? And the same thing. A lot of the Beckys see what? BBC, right? So there is a bit of a mutual fetish for each other, you know. Um, I don't. I heard that he offered her 10 million to settle, and then when I looked at his net worth, it looked like it was only about 14 million. Okay, but once he signs this podcast for 100 million, she's trying to take half of that contract. He offered her 10. I don't I'm not sure what his true net worth is if he offered her 10, because there's no way if I only have 14, I'm giving the chick 10, two-thirds of it for the most part. There's no way. Um, but the word on the street is he was only worth 14, but he's going to be worth more than that. He do own some properties in, Atlanta, California, places like that. But this is a lesson for a lot of people. Number one, you have to not get addicted to the the intimacy in industry. I'm trying to be careful. You have to not do that. You have to um, not let someone ever, 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 ever get the best on you. You should never let someone, because this is a dirty game we living in. Life is difficult. And there are a lot of people who are using other people for a hustle. Now, I think that this chick was setting him up. That's why she did the whole recording. That's why she said some of the words that she said. That's why she was setting him up so that when it gets down to it, she could sue him. I don't really like this law because It's one sided. What do I mean by that? Well, when was the last time you seen a multi-million-dollar woman get sued by a man for SA? You never have. Okay? You never seen that. There is no rich woman who was a multimillionaire who sued a man, or a man sued her because of SA. I don't like laws that are one sided. Only one sex benefits from it. It doesn't seem like justice to me. I feel like, if anything, SA should be handled not in civil court, but in criminal court. If that really happened to you, go to the go file charges on them. Now, they tried to do that with both Puffy and Jay Z, and Jay Z wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. He didn't pay anybody anything, and he lawyered up, and the case got dropped because it was pretty clear it was a money grab. And the same thing is happening with this. Now, the reason why the population is decreasing is because of two reasons. Women don't want kids when they get a career, and men don't want kids because they don't want to pay child support. The laws are going to have to change in order for not only for the population to rebound, but for people to be fair and happy. I don't think people really are happy. Um, I feel bad for Shannon, but he put himself in this situation. He has a dopamine addiction to a certain type of lifestyle, which is what I'm thinking, with a certain type of woman, with a certain type of inhibition in the bedroom, okay, that very few can match, but he has to get rid of that bug in his head. Otherwise, this is not going to be the last time this happens. I would say to the ladies, always protect yourself. Make sure somebody knows where you at all times. And to the fellas, I would say protect yourself. Don't say stuff over the phone. A lot of times you are an opportunity, especially if you are a high value man, you are an opportunity for a come up for a lot of women because they see what other women are doing and they're following suit and they are suing everybody who they had a relationship with. It's not just him. It was Diddy. It was Jay Z. Bill Cosby. It's a way to bring brothers down. Now, does this stuff happen with the other side of men? Absolutely. But you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna have no lawyers who take that case. You're not gonna have no uh, prosecutors. You're not gonna have none of that. Only brothers. You think brothers are the only powerful men who like to live in abundance? Absolutely not. But they're the only ones who get dragged through the media. Okay. Um, Shannon Sharpe put himself in a trick bag, and then the booby trap closed shut. It's his own fault. They had the breadcrumbs. They led him to the trap, and he fell for it because of his tick in his head of what he is looking for. He makes an easy target. It may happen again. I don't know why there is no NDA with this young lady. I don't know why he would say some of the things that he said. to this young lady. I don't know why he has to go so far down as far as age with a woman. They know the type of animal he is, and they gave him the breadcrumbs he needed, and he fell in the trap. Now, if he does get his $100 million podcast, he's only going to be half owner of that podcast. She is going to own the rest of it. And for what? For um in uninhibited relations? Okay, so he did this and he did that. Now, from what I understand also, she was upset that he was trying to break up with her. And she said, "Oh no, you're not going to break up with me because I need that money that's coming in. We have an arrangement. We have an arrangement. You have money, you pay me, we do what you like, whatever you like. But you're not going to just leave me because now I'm dependent on you. And if you do leave, I've gotten the backup plan in case you do." Now, let me also say all of this. This is all satire. I don't know these people. I don't know Shannon. I don't know her. I just am going by what I see. But I do have some ideas on what is going on, and I'm not claiming anything I'm saying to be absolute fact and truth. Okay? But I've seen enough to know what can happen. I've seen enough to know not to follow certain breadcrumbs and get in any kind of traps. It happens. It happens. But us as men, we have to be extra diligent because this country is always trying to find a way to separate men from money. They find a way to give women money and they try to find a way to separate men from money. And the reason I say that is because the courts are very heavily favored towards the women. With this 20-year-old going into court, and she has the complexion that they like, they may find him guilty based simply off of who they are, not considering the facts, not considering that they had relationships, not considering that she said, "I want you to put a black baby in me." Oh, it doesn't matter. This man got money, and we got to find a way to get wealth from him and give it to her. And that is not justice. Now, if he has done something to hurt her, I would agree that there should be some kind of compensation, but 50, no. 10, no. Okay, you get $100. You get what you get for your services. Was it 25 a cheek? Okay, I'll give you 50 grand. I don't want to seem insensitive to her if she was really hurt, but I don't see any. I haven't seen any bruises on her. I haven't seen any police reports. I haven't seen any trauma with her. All I hear is accusations and money. Same thing with the Cassie situation. Now, some might think, oh, it's because she's this complexion, or no. Cassie did the same thing. All right. Cassie did the same thing. It was strictly a money grab. She got her money, and now all kind of women are coming out of the woodwork. After that, Bill Cosby got caught up. There was a little something with Jamie Foxx. Now it's Shannon Sharpe. It's always it's it's a copycat thing. When women see other women winning in whatever kind of way, they copy. They do whatever it is to get that money. Um, he shouldn't have been with her in the first place. She shouldn't have been with him, and nobody talks about that. She shouldn't have been with him either. But two consenting adults, who am I? Who am I to judge? But Cat Williams said something really key. He said, "I don't mess with white women. I think they're just as good as any other woman. It's just that I know that they can take you down in 2.5 seconds or something like that," he said. And he was absolutely right. I don't have a problem with interracial dating, but I think men in general need to be smart, especially with the way the laws are. And and I don't think he should do, in my opinion, he should do what Jonathan Majors did. Drop all the snow bunnies, get you a down ass sister, and marry her. Let me know what y'all think about this. I really would like to know if you would like me to do more commentary about other topics. Let me know. Put that in the comments. Or if you want me to just stick to the shows, just stick to the shows. Put that in the comments too. Thanks for watching. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.